Hello, beloveds. Wow. I don't know about you, but that really took me somewhere. I was like on a cruise, the sun was setting, I was chilling with the people I love. And then, we're here. It's kind of like we're on a cruise, right? We got the water out there, blissfully living a life of spirit. Woo! Oh my goodness, it's a great day to be alive, isn't it? And thank you for joining us this morning. I know there's been a lot of rain, hasn't there? It was like, oh my goodness, what an inconvenience. Roads were closed, appointments were canceled, but whatever, right? It's all good because it's all God, isn't it? Oh yeah. So I was driving over here this morning, and it was so beautiful. The hills were green, the sun was peeking out, and I always get to see those longhorn cattle. They were roaming around, and I was just moved by them, and it was so beautiful, and I thought, this is a great day. This is a great day, you know? Now, how many of you this week had some songs running through your head like, I dreamed of rain and the rain came? You did it? I was thinking that, and then on the way here, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Right, yeah, beautiful. We love the rain, and so we're grateful for the sunshine as well. So today is all about dropping the masks and bushels. And so the seed of awakening for March is authenticity, as many of you already are aware. And so there's a quote that really spoke to me. There's a couple of quotes that really spoke to me. And I want to just begin with this one. And this is from the Gospel of Thomas in the Bible. Jesus said, "For no one lights a lamp to set it under a bushel or to put it in a hidden place, but he sets it on the lampstand that all who go in and come out may see its light." That is such a powerful quote because that's speaking to us, right? That's totally speaking to us. We are not here to hide our light under a bushel, to stay at home and isolate, unless we have something that we need to isolate for. But we're not here to hide our light. We're here to let that light shine because it is our light that shines and lifts ourselves up, and others are lifted by our presence, you know? And so what a beautiful gift it is that we get to be here this morning together to feel that light of spirit, to have something move us, whether it's in the music or a conversation or in the prayer or in speaking to somebody after the service or before the service. Maybe you make a connection and you end up going to have lunch with someone. It could be any of that, but something has called us to be here this morning, and that thing is spirit, and it is an igniting of the light within us. Are you guys with me? Awesome. And so I want to begin with saying that human beings wear masks at different times for different reasons. So we wear masks for fun during holidays and at parties, masquerade balls, think of Halloween, you know, and then masks are also worn in the theater and in the arts. And of course, during the pandemic, like every time someone says mask, I think of that mask, right? The masks that we wore to prevent infection. And not all masks are physical, my friends. So there are times and situations where we actually wear masks ourselves to change or hide who we are in order to protect our hearts and our emotions. We might hide what we think and feel from others because we want to be accepted and we want to belong. And so that actually keeps our light from being seen. It would be similar to hiding a candle under a basket rather than putting the lit candle out on top of the basket to light the entire room. So while it may keep us safe to hide our light or withhold that light, it becomes a problem when we do it so often. We do it so often that it becomes our identity, and we forget because we've fallen into that level of comfort of hiding our light. And so at that point, we lose this amazing opportunity to experience connection and intimacy, which is into me see, right? And then we become afraid and then we're isolated, but nobody wants that. So having the courage to be vulnerable, to drop our masks and let our light be seen and felt is another piece in cultivating authenticity. Now, remember back when the mask mandate, you remember the mask mandate, first of all. Who doesn't remember that? We had to wear masks, right? And then we were able to meet in person, and so everybody came in and they were all wearing masks. It was the guideline, yes? And so we saw each other like this. But do you remember, let's go back, come back with me in this moment, to the time when we took the masks off and we could be seen and there were smiles. Do you remember that feeling? It's like, hey, I know you. Hi. And there was this beautiful experience. Our facial expressions are subtle but so powerful. We got to see the smiles. Wow. And the smiles were lighting up the room like 1,000 megawatt light bulbs, right? It was so beautiful, and it felt so good. And so thinking about that had me think about, can you imagine what it would be like to drop the mask of anger, or dropping the mask of wanting to fit in, or dropping that mask of needing approval, seeking approval, wanting to please others? Can you imagine what that would be like? Now, the mask is going to be different for everyone. Maybe your mask is none of those that I just shared. But whatever that mask is, what would it be like to drop that mask? It would be liberating, wouldn't it? There would be a sense of freedom and joy. Like, I get to be myself. How beautiful. So there are a few masks that I wanted to talk about here a little bit today, and one of those is confusion. And so there is a mask of confusion, and we can act like we are confused. I'm confused. But confusion is actually a mask for curiosity. So instead of going to that mask of I'm confused, we get curious. Because really, we get confused, we don't know the answer maybe, but the curiosity is us turning within. What's true for me about this? I'm not confused, I'm curious. And then anger is a mask for many other emotions that are residing just under the surface, like fear, anxiety, guilt, shame, embarrassment, betrayal, jealousy, sadness, blah, hurt, and worry, right? Have you ever experienced any of those? Yeah. But we can go to anger first, can't we? At first we get angry, but if we were to stop and look just under the surface, we will find that there's another emotion at play. And maybe we're afraid to express that or to experience that because we want to be loved, or we want to be awesome and perfect and bright and shiny all the time, right? Can you relate? But if we were to actually just take off that mask and go to that deeper level, then it dissolves by our looking at it. Just like in meditation, if there's something that is irritating you and you bring all of your awareness to it, it dissolves by the very nature of your bringing your awareness to it. You take the power back. So frustration is a mask. How many of you have been frustrated in the last day, right? This morning, frustration. So frustration is a mask too. I think frustration is a valid mask, though. Frustration is a valid mask because oftentimes we get frustrated with other people, right? Our frustration can be with other people. Now, that frustration lies in the fact that we can't change others. We want others to be a certain way, and we're frustrated because they're not conforming to our truth. You know? And so, hence frustration. It's like, if only everybody could be more like me, then everything would be okay, you know? Oh. Right? Jim, yeah. Yeah. But when they're not, frustration. But the frustration is a mask, right? And it's like a defense mechanism to protect ourselves from being hurt or rejected. Now, we get frustrated because we can't change other people, but really the thing that we need to change and transform is us and our own perspective and our mindset and what we're experiencing in the moment. Hence the frustration, right? Oh, yes. And so turning that attention towards us, we can take off that mask and really get down to the business of transforming our lives by looking at what it is within us. So when we see something outside of ourselves that causes us frustration, it is because there is something of it within us, right? And so being able to look at that thing allows us to be liberated from it. When we look at it, it takes the power off of what's happening in the external world, and we get to see, oh, this is causing me frustration. What's in me? Maybe I'm like that, actually. Right? I know, that's a blow to the mind. Whenever that happens, I usually go, oh, yeah, I can see where I've been that way. And then I get to pick myself up and keep on moving, keep on walking, right? And transform and transform. And so I love our book of the month. It's over here. It's called The Gifts of Imperfection. And this book is by Brené Brown. And she's amazing. And I think that's the 10th anniversary edition. So she wrote this book back in 2007, I believe. And she republished in 2020, like right in the middle of the pandemic. And so she's been through a lot. And it is so cool to see her journey and the way that she has incorporated the gifts into her life. But there are 3 gifts that I really understand about this idea of us being authentic. We get the gifts of courage, compassion, and connection. Those are really the gifts of imperfection. Those are the gifts of us getting clear and allowing ourselves to be exactly as we are and exactly as we are not, and then love ourselves in the middle of it, yes? Which is really the beautiful thing. So when we are authentic and being ourselves, we get to receive these gifts. So what does being authentic have to do with my spirituality? Some of you may be thinking. Well, where do I get my courage, right? Where do I find the courage to be authentic? And I was thinking how, what is that? So I'm fueled and funded by the divine in all ways, always. I remember that God is with me in the morning, in the evening, in my coming and my going, in my weeping, in my rejoicing. God is for me. God is for me. God's presence goes before me and behind me and beside me. It's all around me and within me. God is with me. God is with me now and always. So friends, remember, God is with you. God is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. God is for you. God, right? Amen. God is for you. God's presence goes before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. God is with you. God is with you. Yes. When we can remember that, we are unstoppable. I mean, just hearing those words gets me fired up for spirit. It's like, oh, this bright light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, right? Wow. Yeah. So all of that reminds me of my moment of clarity, right? So I had a moment of clarity. This is my realization of the God of my understanding. Okay, so the voice of God, which was my voice in my head, said to me one day, Elizabeth, it's time to stop drinking. To which I replied, I don't know how. Show me how. And it did. And I have been a believer ever since that moment. Right? Now, how do I know it was God? At the time, I didn't have a name for it, but I knew that it was a power greater than me. It had to be. I was in oblivion on my third day of a drinking binge, in and out of consciousness. I just wanted another one, you know? But something in me, God, this power greater than I, said, Elizabeth, it's time to stop. It's like, you are done. Now, I knew it was a power greater than myself because while I disliked myself and who I had become, it was something within me that was for me. God is for me. God is for me. It was for me. So there was something within me that favored me and shined its light upon me. I didn't know it was God. I wasn't calling it God at the time. But at some point, I decided to call it God. My choice. Really. Now, that is a small but mighty aspect of the God of my understanding. Not at first, but I came to believe that that was it, right? After that, I was in it to win it. Can you imagine? It's like, hey, something's for me. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. So then I began to cultivate a relationship with this invisible presence. I began courting the divine because, you see, nobody else's mold of the God of their understanding fit with me. I wasn't having that experience. Oh, that sounds weird. Oh, that sounds hokey. You know, God is not some big daddy in the sky. It can't be because it's in me. There was a voice in me. So I cultivated this relationship, and it was personal. It was a personal relationship. Now, that invisible presence that came into my heart at that moment of clarity was personal to me. And that's when I really felt I had that secret that I've spoken to you all about before. This secret that God, the highest God, and the innermost God are one God, and it's personal to me. Now, this is before I even found Science of Mind, but this is also true for each one of us. God is personal to each one of us. It is personal, and somebody else's description may not fit yours, right? Your God, your concept, the God of your understanding is personal to you, and I bet it's beautiful. But the point is for us to let go of this idea that God is a white-bearded man in the sky watching your every move, or that the giant hand of God is going to swoop in and solve all of your problems for you. Because the highest God and the innermost God are the same God. The thing that's going to sweep in and help you solve your problems is you. The answer is you. The answer is within you. The answer is within us, always. So we've got to stop looking for the white-bearded man, right? Stop looking for the white-bearded man or the white-bearded moment. Oh. We got to stop looking for that white-bearded man and moment that is outside of ourselves and recognize the presence of love that is within us right now, right here, right where you are, right here in this room, right there in the animals that we see. This presence of love is right here, Zoomers, right where you are, right now, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of whether you're hungover, regardless of whether you're cranky or mad or not feeling it. It is still here right now, right where you are. And I love this idea. It's right here where we are in our drunken stupor. Right? I don't mean drunk on alcohol. Our drunken stupor of confusion, of dis-ease, of perfectionism, of lack, of limitation, of not enough, of playing small, of hiding out, of being afraid, of being cynical, and our disbelief. It's right here in the middle of it, right here in our sorrow and in our messes and in the messes that we have made, right here. It's right within it. It is in the circumstances and conditions of our lives that we don't want to experience. Ever had those? Yeah. Right there in the middle of that, God is here right now. It is here now. It is with me now and always. So I took that one small but mighty moment and I cracked it open, right? I expanded it and was like, what is this? There must be more. Common alcoholic thought, right? More is better. But I chiseled away at it. And I chiseled away at it like those monks who chiseled away the clay-plastered Buddha to find the solid gold Buddha hidden underneath. It's right within us. God is with me in the morning, in the evening, in my coming and my going, in my weeping and my rejoicing. God is for me. God is for me. God's presence goes before me and behind me and beside me, all around me and within me. God is with me. God is with me. Do you feel that? Courage, compassion, and connection are the gifts of imperfection, my friends. When we drop our masks, we get to be ourselves. It's like taking your coat off at someone's house, right? Get comfy. Get comfy in your own skin. Being who you are without apology is letting the divine essence within you shine its light. God wants to shine through you. Being authentic is unbolting and opening that door and allowing Spirit to shine through you. Why not? Why not? So what does being authentic have to do with my spirituality? You may be asking, or not anymore. Well, we were all made in the image and likeness of God. Just below this swirl of activity that's happening all around us in any given moment, the divine is here in this moment. The divine within is the most authentic you, the innermost you, the innermost God, your innermost good. Can I get an amen? Amen. So, friends, in conclusion, being authentic can make you feel vulnerable. It feels vulnerable. And sometimes we don't want to upset people. We want to be loved and approved of. And when we truly get that we are loved exactly as we are, and it wouldn't change one thing about us, yes, not even that thing, God loves you exactly as you are, and it wouldn't change one thing about you. Not even that. Yeah, not even that. It loves you when we get that. We feel the courage within us to be vulnerable, and we are rewarded with compassion and connection. So as we love and accept ourselves exactly as we are and exactly as we are not, we are free. We can only be as authentic as we love and accept ourselves. So questions this week for you to ask yourself and journal about to assist you on your path of being authentic are these. I've got 3 questions. One of them is, what is something you're puzzled by? What puzzles you? Number 2, now remember, you're asking these questions and you're going to journal about them. Second question, what really annoys you? What really annoys you? And then you're going to journal a little bit about that. And the third question, what is something hurtful that was said to you? And you're going to journal a little bit about that. And see where God is right in the midst of it. So for the week, remember this, my friends. Just join me, close your eyes for a moment. And feel these words. God is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. God is for you. God is for you. God's presence goes before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. God is with you. God is with you. And now repeat after me, God is with me. God is with me. In the morning, in the evening, in my coming and my going, in my weeping and rejoicing. God is for me. God is for me. God's presence goes before me and behind me and beside me, all around me and within me. God is with me. God is with me. And so it is. All right, so woo! So I'm going to invite the musicians to come on up and start to get ready for our closing song. And as they're preparing to do so, I invite you to do the little shuffle in your chair. I'm going to do a closing prayer. Well, that was powerful enough to be our closing prayer. We're going to have one more prayer. So get comfortable, Maybe you need to scratch your nose or stretch a little bit. Yes. And if it feels comfortable for you to do so, you can place your feet on the ground. And in that placement of our feet on the ground, we feel the presence of the ground below us and know that we are connected to the earth. And so there are like roots that are connecting our feet down into this beautiful sacred earth upon which we stand or sit right now. And we remember that there is also a connection to the cosmos, and this connection is happening from the top of our head, and it is flowing with divine magnificence, radiance. All the good that we can imagine is flowing in to our minds and illuminating every single cell of our bodies with goodness, whatever that goodness is for you. Maybe it's perfect health, joy, love, harmony, forgiveness, compassion, wholeness, authenticity, brilliance, divine light, prosperity, all of it, all the good is here right now. And I'm so grateful to know in this moment that there is only one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. And Spirit is within me just as it is within each one of us. It's not in us like jelly is in a donut or gas is in a car. It's in us like we're made of the same stuff. We're made of God stuff. So really we're little godlings roaming the planet at this time. And that presence, the highest God and the innermost God are one God. That is within us right now. And so I know and claim that as we go forward from here into our week, we are shining. We've got sparkly eyes, and people around us are moved. They're like, wow, What have you been doing with yourself? Well, I go to this great community called Awakening Way Spiritual Community. You should check us out. We're on fire for spirit, and we are unafraid to show it. There is a light, and this light within each one of us is shining brightly. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful to know that this light shines so bright that the other things that are petty or meaningless can be just dissolved into the native nothingness from whence it came, because there is only one power in my life, and it is the divine. And I let this divine light go before me and behind me and beside me, all around me and within me, because I remember God is for me. God is for me. God is for me. And I am grateful, and so it is.